We're back with another edition of Hot Takes. If you want me to react to yours, go ahead and comment them in the description. Not description, sorry, that's my job. Comment them in the comment section. Hopefully you're having a great day. Let's just see how this goes. Now, this was definitely back when I was having a little bit of quality issues, so just ignore these types of comments. I appreciate you, Daniel. Hot take. Unit descriptions for leader and passives need to be reworked with keywords like most card games. Each ability or effect should be classified under one word with numbers after it, and you can long press the keyword to see its description. It would shorten the paragraphs we have now, make some ambiguous abilities easier to understand at a glance, and be easier on the new players. I mean, easier for new players in what sense? Maybe I'm not fully understanding. The thing is, it's like you have to read the passive at the end of the day anyway. So I think the reason why I'm not truly understanding is because we don't really have like a clear example. Like Zoid, if you're watching this, give me like an example, because for now it's like I think I understand, but at the end of the day you have to read everything the character is doing to be able to not only make sense of the unit, but be able to also use them effectively, right? And that's, of course, a super important part of the game. So you can label anything you want with any title that you want, but if you're not reading it, the label is not going to be able to provide you enough information to where you can say, you know what, I don't need to read the full passive to understand what's going on here, right? Because kits have very specific wording nuances that require, you know, maybe I'm not understanding too well, but in terms of like my OCD side, I would like to see it. It's just, how would it be easier for new players, or ambiguous abilities easier to understand? Again, I just need an example, and then I can, okay, I see where you're coming from. Here's a totally hot take. World Tournaments is the worst game mode. What do people say to this? That's got to be the coldest take. Yeah, coldest take. I agree. I feel like we need new modes because we haven't gotten one in a while. New modes meaning like does the legendary Frieza event on JP count? Is that I mean, that's a new mode, right? Or you mean like completely new mode, like Peton Battle or Ultimate Clash, where it's like a completely different way to interact with the game and the characters that you have in your box? Because if that's the case, I would agree. Honestly, I feel like Dokkan would be in a much better spot if they perfected the modes that they have now instead of, you know, basically, you know, like if we were able to perfect every nuance with World Tournament, perfect Ultimate Clash, which Ultimate Clash is good, but could definitely be improvements if we really sit down and think about it. Just perfect the game as it is, and then add new modes. I think that'd be a lot better than just adding new modes because, hey, new content, but there's a bunch of other things in the game that need to be organized and fixed, etc., etc. So the manual rotation should be allowed on events that have daily limits that you have. Oh, okay, so this is regarding a comment in the video, or from a previous hot take that I mentioned in the video, where someone, I believe, mentioned that you should be able to, before you hop into an event, you should be able to select what characters appear on what rotation, so you don't have really bad RNG and have to keep quitting the game and going back in to at least have a good rotation. So that's what the manual rotation means. Should be allowed on events that have daily limits that you have or haven't beaten, one of the two. If you haven't, then it makes it easy for you to beat it within the limited tries. And if you already beat it, it would help to complete mission with categories that have more trouble and require more specific rotation / placements to be good enough to beat the event. Another way it could work would be by allowing you to pick the rotations until you beat the event. Once you have beaten it, then it would work randomly, mostly so that people could complete hard events and gather the key components like Dragon Stones, event missions. So basically, the way I see it is, when you hop into an event, the randomness factor of not knowing what characters are going to appear on what rotation, make the event hard, right? Or make the event harder. So I would rather beat it like that first, and then if I need to complete with missions, then I'll be able to select my characters and whatever the case may be. But I also understand this perspective. Like, let me hop into an event with my set rotations, right? And once I do that, then let's say, I earn my rewards or whatever. And then if I want to make it more challenging for myself, I can turn the randomness factor on. And honestly, it would be cool if you could pick your own rotations, so that way you beat the event. And if you do customize your rotations, you earn a reward. But if you randomize your rotations, maybe the reward you get is a little bit better, right? So you're beating it with help and without the help, just, dealing with the RNG factor of the game. But again, I do appreciate and I do like the RNG factor. That's how we've all played for the last 8, 9, 10 years. So it's like, we're all used to it, but I don't think it would, really be like a bad addition to the game. So there should be LR unit versions of units like transforming URAGL Goku, where when you get enough key spheres, you'll be able to transform into the next form of the character, and each transformation would have a bigger key need to get to the next and a slightly different tweaked kit. Oh, okay, so basically I think what they're saying here is that characters like transforming Frieza, like the tech transforming Frieza, the physical transforming Vegeta, units we don't really see like that anymore. I think the last character we got that was somewhat close to that was like the AGL Silver Golden Week, a bit back. But the issue with, if we were to get another form or another character that transformed every single rotation, I would like for that character to be an LR. The arts would be amazing. I mean, it would definitely be a lot of work, right? Because the arts would be you'd have to animate, 4, 5, 6 different arts. So I'm down for it. Hot take, LR AGL Blue Vegeta was the best unit in the game when he came out. I just disagree. I felt that he was heavily disrespected considering what he did. He was able to tank extremely well. His damage output was insane. And a lot of people probably did not notice that his Ultra Super Tech gave 50% defense boost to super class allies, units in the rotation, which was probably most of the characters that are going to be on the team. So I'll say... Also, when he came out, bosses did an insane amount of damage, so by the time his guard was finished, you are most likely going to be under 70%, and this is ignoring how amazing of a leader he is. So, is he a good leader? Yes. Do I feel people disrespect the 50% defensive raise on Super? Yes. But Vegito Blue, the thing is that we are focusing on Vegito Blue. We're not focusing on the Goku and Vegeta side of things. The reason why people disrespect that character is because the Goku and Vegeta side of things are just not good, right? On release, they were definitely good, but they were carried by, oh my god, we can transform into Vegito. That character, you run that character to transform into Vegito, right? Whereas characters like Tech Ultimate Gohan, they're just so OP that you don't even need to transform. And I'm not saying, look, if a Vegito Blue character comes out where you have to fuse to see Vegito, you obviously want to see Vegito, right? And you'd think the same thing would go for a character like Z Sword Gohan. I have never heard anyone ever be excited to transform Tech Gohan into Ultimate Gohan, dude. And I'm not saying the blue Goku and Vegeta need to be that broken to where you don't need to really bring out Vegito. But there's no reason for them being, damage-wise as, like, mediocre, right, as they were. And we have characters who can guard infinitely, who can dodge, 77% chance now, right, with AGO, UI, Goku, ZZ, who came out after, but there's no reason why. Like, if I pull up, we might as well just pull it up, right? Let's do Goku and Vegeta. There we go. So here, let me see if I can find it. So this here, defense plus 100%, and guards all attacks for 4 turns from the character's entry turn when there is another feeble law. I honestly feel like if this was maybe 150 and just guarded, like, look, if this character just guarded, right, for free, no turn restriction, no limit, whatever, just guarded for free, and this was slightly higher, and I mean, the rest of the character is good. I would just buff up like some of these. Let me see. Yeah, if this was not limited to 4 turns, this is a little bit higher, and this character got something like 50% to 100% attack when performing a super, then I think this character would be fine. Yeah, I think the character would be fine. You are raising attack, which is fair, but this character, it's just this character, Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta are just not really impressive, right? And if your kid is gonna look like this, just have the guard be up permanently. You know, that would add so much value to this character, 100%, by not limiting this to 4 turns. So, wobbles over pancakes, of course. Here's my take: should they really want to push the link leveling agenda, they should give points to every link level up, not just link level 10s, increasing the points given according to the level reached. Depending on how they do that, I could see the point stuff being very broken, because you get 1,000 points, right, for link level 10. What would it be for a link level 9? Surely not 900, right? Because we would then see power levels in the game that are super high, and characters in, you know, that person's box are just not going to be link level 10. Because you can still get very high power levels, you know, with link level 6s, 7s, and 8s if it was increments of 100, right? So I don't know. I don't know what the point system would look like if they decided to do this. Because right now, if we see, right, okay, so let's say it was 100 points per link level. So link level 1, or we basically have link level 1 already. So link level 2 would be 200 points. Like link level 3 would be 300, so on and so forth. Right now, when we see high power levels, we know that person has a lot of link level 10 characters. But if they were to give 100 points per link level up, right, all the way up to 1,000, we would see power levels, and we would have no idea how much that person actually grinded, because they could have all link level 5s, 6s, and 7s with a really high power levels, just a bunch of different characters, and they're not really getting maxed out, but they're taking advantage of how quick it is and easy it is to get them to level 5, 6, and 7 compared to 9s and 10s, for example, right? So I think high power levels being an indication of, wow, that person grinds so much, I think there's like a cool flexing factor to that, whether, you know, you like that or not, sure, but I think it takes away from that just a little bit. Dokkan can make unique characters who are really good with damage reduction or guard, but they also have to make difficult content more unique. Additional take: Dokkan should have a custom card event, and the winner gets these card designs in game. This I would absolutely love. Imagine like maybe once a year, we send in cards. I don't know how it would work, but we send in, you know, animation ideas, source for, you know, this and that, all that information, and then there's like a voting system, and then people vote. And I don't know if the voting would work, because I feel like creators that have a lot of, like, let's say influence, let's say like Truth or Nano, or if it would be easy for anyone to say, right, like, vote for my card, right? And I think the more pull you have in the community, the more likely your card is to end up. So I don't know what this would, like, how it would be designed or how it would look like, or what the restrictions would be, but I think it would be really, really, really cool now that the games are definitely syncing up. And making enemies more unique is definitely just, you know, a cool take. We've been needing that for a while, and we're slowly starting to get that, so I'm definitely happy to see it. I love knowing unfair fights that forces players to use items in the best teams in the game. I love getting smacked by a powerful boss and retrying the same stage 24 times until I beat it. I don't know why, I just like that feel. So I get this. I know a lot of people do enjoy this part of the game, because when you beat, it's not really about how many times you die. It's like, wow, I've died so many times, and now beating it is just going to feel so good, right? So you're chasing that feeling. So I definitely respect that. I love the idea of free hidden ability to change after EZA. Oh, so this was referring to a take from Senor David last video, where he mentioned the idea of when a character gets an EZA, you should have the ability to change their hidden potential for free. And maybe that lasts for about, you know, a week, right? Once a week goes by, you'll have to, of course, go in and use stones for it, but at least for a week, because characters after EZA, they change, right? And it makes sense that if a character changes, so might the best or most, you know, if before Easy A you want to go additionals because the character stacks or whatever, but after Easy A the character has so much defense that you don't even need to stack, you want to go crits, then you should be able to have that, because it's not our fault that we gave. I mean, we gave additionals because the character needed additionals, but now you get the point, right? I think it definitely should be a thing. Super Saiyan 3 team potentially has a top tier team now, and it's the best it's ever been. I agree. I got myself another take, so I might as well send it out here. They should never have split categories between villains and heroes. Interesting. They should have just put them into one category, but make it so that units cater to the extreme or super side of that category. Like what they did with Realm of Gods, but more extreme. Of course, I mean, we have units like Physical Nova, for example. Just like one card I can think of that does that. And I think of him because he's just... Did I spell Nova wrong? Let's just do Shenron. Is it not... Oh, it's NU. Okay. Anyway, so it's something like this, right? Where this guy's an extreme class character. Oh, no, he's super class. That's right. So the weird thing about him is he's super class. He buffs super class, but he's a villain, right? So his links and everything work well with villains. That's, you see here, most of these characters are villains, right? So that's that. But here it's Shadow Dragon Saga category super class allies, right? Or so it's basically something like this. Honestly, again, the OCD side of me would really appreciate something like this. Could they walk back on it? Honestly, I think they could. How many categories in the game are split like this? We have superheroes and super bosses. We have GT bosses and GT heroes. We have movie bosses and movie heroes. What other examples do we have? Just so I can quickly see. Because look, Android / Cell Saga is a perfect example of a category that has and hosts a bunch of, you know, villains as well as super class characters. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these guys, don't they support the extreme class side of stuff? Oh no, just androids. Okay. I think there was like a character here that supported, but like the oh wait. I forgot which character did that, but I think they supported like the extreme class side. Was it actually the physical 60? This unit here. Let me see. Oh, okay. Well, that's not necessarily what I was looking for, but you get the point. But that's, you know, a good example of a category like where it has both, you know, heroes and villains. Sworn enemies is, I guess, fine. I probably missed one already. Let's say a superhero, super boss, and movie hero, movie bosses. Is that it? Are those just the three Yeah, look, with those, if it's only these three sets of categories, they can easily walk it back and then change some of the passives within these units to support, you know, the extreme side or super side, or just keep it the same, to be honest, right? Because it just doesn't really make much of a difference. But I would like this for sure. Defense lowering does nothing when the enemy skill still keeps a very high damage reduction percentage. Now a skill to lower the enemy's damage reduction. Now we're talking. Tired of my units reading 15 million attack stats when the enemy gets hit by 3 mil. You're right. Absolutely. 100%. You are right. 2 weeks ago. Why take 2 weeks to comment? Int Kid Goku is the best unit of all. Okay. Kind of more just I hate Int Kid Goku, by the way. Kind of more just a strategy, but complaining about AGL Vegeta Blues HP condition is dumb, because if you double float them, they will be back on the 7th turn, ready to transform as long as you have the future Saga ally. So here's my issue with that take, okay? Let me just go to cards instead of going to categories. And Vegeta. Here's my issue, and again, maybe this is just me, but characters who stack defense that should, in order to be utilized correctly, that should be floated off is weird to me. Why are we able to stack defense, right? Like, why is this a thing if this character is meant to be floated off? If this character's best play or best form of utility is to be sacked off until you can actually bring out Vegito. Why are we stacking defense? This defensive stacking is super important to make sure that not only this character, but Vegito is defensively viable, right, when Vegito Blue comes out. So it's like, the character who stacks defensively, it bothers me that characters who stack defensively are better in slot 3 and being sacked off until they transform or until they hit some sort of number. So while you may be right, they stack defense. That's my problem. Like, a character stacks defensively, I want to get as many super attacks as possible with them, which means slot 3 is just not viable, especially in the beginning parts of fights where you can defeat the enemy before this character even gets a chance to attack. So I don't know. I'm not sure if this is a hot take, but time challenge missions are really fun, and they should add more. I'm definitely down for something like that. Hot take, HP conditions aren't bad for free-to-play players. Of course, falling under 20% HP is hard when your whole team is rainbowed and you have nearly 800k HP. Same with long turn restriction. I tend to finish Omega on turn 10 plus. I don't think that's really a hot take, right? Free-to-play means you don't have as many strong characters. Your team isn't that strong. Less HP to deal with, less defensive, you know. It makes sense. If you're free to play, the chance of you falling under a certain amount of HP threshold is higher, right? Totally not a hot take. All enemies should be able to have attack / defensive down, with the cap dropping as the difficulty increases. It could be just 1%, but allow the huge number. But it would allow the huge number of characters that require those effects to be usable. I actually agree. I agree 100%. So instead of having, we can't lower the attack or defense of this character. Let's say this character can only have their attack and defense lowered by a max of 10%, or max of 5%, or max of 1%, right? As the character gets stronger throughout the fight. I'm done. Another hot take, bad LRs should get super easy A's. I agree. Lemonade is better than orange juice. I agree. Most people know what a hot take is. Wait, most people know what a hot take is? I feel like a lot of people they say hot take, but they end up sending some pretty cold takes. Like, I think we read some pretty cold takes in this video. But, again, I love reading these no matter what. Thank you for sending them through. I can't wait to see what you upload next. Hopefully the quality of this video was a lot better. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and peace.